Academy, I was talking to Mr. Hartley, that he's with the governor's office. He works with that arm of the governor's office that works with education. And he had contacted me last year about this time, maybe February, something like that. And he says, you know, are you interested in implementing, the governor has $1 million, and are you interested in implementing the Star Academy? And so, so we set up a meeting, and before the meeting, we did our research at the district level, checking out the Star Academy, you know, the results, you know, learning all about it. So we pretty much knew when we went into the meeting that, you know, it's about helping struggling students in 7th and 8th grade in particular, and helping them get ready for high school, right, to be successful in high school. So we knew that we wanted to be a part of that. What I appreciated from the governor's office is they didn't tell us what school. They said, you know, look at your data, and you guys decide where you want to put the program. And so we started here at Amite Westside. And the Star Academy is a very specific model. You just replicate the model. It's proven to be effective in other places with students just like ours. And so just get the model right with fidelity and replicate. From the color of the paint on the wall to the tables, everything about the room environment is very, very strict and planned. You just replicate that. So we have started immediately doing what we need to do at the district and school level, and we were on the go. We advertised specifically for STAR teachers. We offered an incentive stipend for teachers that wanted to be a part of the STAR program, because we wanted to attract the ones that wanted to be a part of it, and that, you know, the very best that we could find across the district. It was an investment that we thought was worthy, since, you know, we had the investment to start the program. And then sometime after that, we got another call and said, hey, would you like to do it in another school? And we were like, absolutely. So we then reached out to Mr. Matthews at Greenville Park and Hammond. So now we have 2 sites. We have a north end site and a south end site. And what's really, I think, sets us apart in Tangipahoa Parish, Governor, is that this is our first year, but next year, because these 2 schools are magnet schools, we can actually open up slots, not only for the students here, it's primarily for the students of these 2 schools, but other schools across our parish will have an opportunity to apply to come here for the STAR program. And the STAR program, again, is to help struggling students be successful in high school and be ready. And our job, our purpose in the school system is to not just graduate our students, but to have them ready for life, right? Like, we want them to be able to secure high wage, high demand jobs past high school. Every parent and grandparent wants their children to be independent, to be able to live the American dream, you know, have a good job, buy a piece of land, build a little house, raise their family right here in Tangipahoa Parish. As Mr. Miller says, the greatest parish in the state. And so we want to equip them for that. And the STAR Academy is perfectly aligned to what our purpose is, and it's to help them be successful. They're ready for high school when they leave the STAR Academy. It's project-based, it's very hands-on, and it's designed to get the kids caught up and ready so they can be successful in 9th grade, which is the most critical year in high school, by the way. So I just want to say all that. I want to publicly thank the governor and his office for their work, and NOLA for their partnership. There's a lot of people here from the NOLA organization, and their support has been critical in helping us be successful. And we want this program to be successful at the district investment as well as the schools. And it's exciting to know that next year other students in our other schools can apply to come here and have a seat in this program that will help them be prepared for life. So at this time, I'm going to ask the governor to come up, say a few words, and welcome home again. He went to school here, by the way.
Thank you, Superintendent. This really is a special day for me to be able to come back to Amite and celebrate something that I think is worthy of celebrating, and to be back at home and back at the school that I attended in the late 70s. Dina, how does that sound? Because Dina,
What's going on?
Dina was my classmate from 1st grade through 12th grade, and she and I were here at the exact same time. But this is also about celebrating these young people over to my right and affording them every opportunity to be successful. And to do it with this model, I think, is particularly exciting. And so I was very happy when Richard Hartley, who is my education policy advisor, was able to make contact with Superintendent Stilley and find out that there was indeed interest in Tangipahoa Parish for this program. Because it has been proven effective all over the country and for a long time. And it just works in a unique way to make sure the kids, they have every opportunity for success. And you take kids who may be on a path that's not very bright, and then you put them firmly on a path where they're going to be successful in high school. And so I'm excited about that. We are funding a total of 6 of these from the governor's office across the state, 2 of them in Tangipahoa Parish. And so I especially pleased that the parish, the school system here, made the commitment, because we put the money up front. We'll create the program. Of course, the parish has to have the teachers, and then maintain the program once it's created. And so that's the commitment that's been made here. I do want to thank Superintendent Stilley for that. I want to thank the principal of Ms. Reagan English for her commitment to this program, but also the principal at Greenville Park Leadership Academy, Bobby Matthews. And these students, I realized not all from here west side, some are from Greenville, so it's good to meet all of you, Alonzo. Good to meet you. I really couldn't be more proud of the students and the teachers. This day probably doesn't mean as much to you as it does to me. 7 years ago today, I was inaugurated, and I began my first term as governor. And so to be able to come home, and by the way, 7 years ago, many of the people in this room came to Baton Rouge to celebrate that inauguration, and so it's good to be back here in Amite 7 years later. You know, there's a tree that's planted at the governor's mansion, and it's obviously an oak tree, but what it says is tall oaks from little acorns grow. And that really was planted to remind us the importance of education, because we are trying to help our children, our smallest citizens, grow into very productive, successful people. And education is the way to make sure that happens. So it's great to be back here to celebrate this. I will tell all of you, many of you know because you know me so well and you know Donna so well, but I happened to be a 7th grade student here one day, and I looked up and there was Donna Hutto. She was in the 6th grade. And so I am especially thankful for this school, because the biggest blessing in my life actually came from right here. And I have a lot of really special memories here, and to be able to help this school, and more importantly help these kids from across the parish. And I was aware that because of the magnet program here, that kids from around the parish will have an opportunity to apply to be in this program, or the program down at Greenville in Hammond. So Star Academy was developed by a team of expert educators and researchers back in 2005. And that was in response to the rising percentage of our kids across the country who were deemed at risk. And you're at risk because there are certain things that make it very difficult for those young people. They're at risk for not being successful, potentially for dropping out of school and so forth. So they created a program that integrated a standardized test focused curriculum, but really with a lot of hands-on STEM focused learning. And the program was obviously put on a strong foundation of social and emotional learning that holds these students to a higher level of personal responsibility and integrity. And so when they join this program, they are committing themselves to doing better from the very first day. And that's why I'm so happy to see these young people here today taking advantage of the Star Academy. It really is sort of, and we've heard this a lot, but it's a sort of a school within a school approach. And it ensures that kids who may not be, for whatever reason, that suited for traditional education, they have something that's a little non-traditional in the classroom. And I think when you go in the classrooms, you're going to see that. From the flexible seating to the way that the classrooms are designed to facilitate collaboration and teamwork, and so we know that this works. And all we have to do is, as the superintendent says, we have to have fidelity to the model, and it will absolutely work, and it will work for these students. It's also an accelerated learning experience, so that they get to work at their own pace. And so if you can actually complete 2 grades in 1 year, you're given the opportunity to do that. And so some kids can actually catch up. What we know is if you get to be 2 years older than the other kids in your classroom, by the time you get to 9th grade, you are the most likely to drop out of school. So if you want to recapture learning loss, if you want to make sure that kids are not in that position where they are the most likely to drop out, you give kids an opportunity to accelerate their learning. Not by taking shortcuts, because they're going to do a lot of hard work, but it's going to be more suited for them, and it's going to be fun, and they're going to learn an awful lot. And that's what this program is all about. And that's why it was appropriate for COVID relief funds that we had available to us. And it was a program that I selected because I had discretion to basically do anything I wanted to do in elementary and secondary education. But this is the program that I chose. Partly because Richard, my policy advisor, when he was the superintendent of Washita Parish Schools, when he was the principal in Washita Parish, he had Star Academy there. And he was telling me how good this program was and how effective it is. And I'm also pleased, since we're here, and I know we got folks from all around the area, we have a program in St. Helena Parish as well. And so I'm excited about that. It provides workplace readiness and exposure to over 50 careers. So these young people are going to be exposed to things, and they're going to be able to decide for themselves, maybe one of those 50 careers is right for you. And notice we're saying careers, we're not saying jobs. We want you in good careers so that you can be successful for the entirety of your life. It is true that the Star Academy faculty and students become more like family than the traditional faculty-student relationship, and that's another reason why they are going to be successful. And so, in short, I think the program provides hope. It ignites love of learning. And to really be successful today, as fast as things change, as fast as technology changes, and the nature of work and all of that, and which fields are actually going to have career opportunities, we're seeing people who are having to work in 2 or 3 totally different fields over the course of their career to be successful. And so the most important thing that we can teach kids is not necessarily the specific knowledge and skills, but it's a love of learning, so that every time they need to make those adjustments over the course of their life, they are able to learn new knowledge and new skills. And so doing that through the Star Academy is going to set these young people up for success. And then when we have these programs, demonstrate that success to everyone's satisfaction. It is my hope that this will be replicated in many more schools across the state, because I can tell you there are a lot more schools than just 6 or 5, I think it's school systems that could benefit from this program. And that's part of making sure that we grow those tall trees from those little acorns. So thank you all so much for being here. Let's rededicate ourselves to education and making sure that we're doing everything that we can to prepare our kids for success, because that's how our communities are going to be successful. That's how families are going to be supported. and it raises everybody's quality of life. But it starts with every kid, and trying to meet them where they are and doing those things that are proven effective so that they can be successful. That's what we're doing here with Star Academy. I do look forward to going to classroom and to see it in person. And thank all of you for coming out. It's so good to come home and see people that I know. It's always a little harder. It's harder to go and speak to people who know you, believe it or not, than it is to engage in public speaking somewhere else. Because y'all know me. You know, I have to be very careful about what I say. But thank you all for being here. This is a great way to kick off 2023, and it's a great way to kick off my last year as governor. My commitment to you is we're going to work hard every single day between now and then, and then about a year from now, Donna and I will be right back here in this community every single day. Thank you all, and God bless.